Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita Shloka. Today is Sunday, so we'll be reciting this verse for the last time this week. Next week we'll be learning a new verse. So, does anyone need to go first? Okay, Isha. And then Priyanka, Hare Priya Mataji.
Bhaktya tunaya shakya tamam evam vidhorjana gyatum drashtum cha tatpena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanders.
Priyanka, Hare Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Bhaktya tu ananya shakya aham evam vidavajana gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
So this is the answer to your question, Priyanka Mataji. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you. So let's.
Okay, Mataji. Yeah, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, next. Yeah, we'll go in order now. Achintadev Prabhu, Aditi Lata Mataji, and Arunita.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Would you like to recite?
I'll try Mataji. Bhaktya tva ananya sankhya aham evam vidho arjuna gyatum drishtum cha tatvena pravestum cha parantapa. Translation. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Aditi Lata Mataji and Arunita. Not ready? Hare Krishna. Go ahead.
Bhaktya tu ananya sakya aham eva vidorjuna gyanatam drishtum
Gyatum drashtum cha tatvena.
Yatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Translation. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Thanks.
Hare Krishna. Aditi Lata Mataji.
My mom can't read right now.
Okay. So Isha read, Krishna Shish.
Bhaktyatvanyaya shakya aham eva vidorjuna gyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
Madhava.
Bhaktya ananya sakya evam vidharthana gyatam drastum saratvena pravistum sa parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can I enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
Rasapriya.
Bhaktya tunanya sakya aham eva vidharjana gyatam drashtam satvena praveshtam sa parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
Okay. Next, Roya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Can you just tell me on the third line with the J and the N, does this make different sounds, different sounds?
Yeah, actually, if you can say It's Jnatum, Jna, but if that, Jna. And if you're not able to say that, you can say Gya, Gyatum.
I see. Okay, okay. Bhaktyatvananyaya sakya ahamevam vidurjuna Jnatum drashtum cha tatvina praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding.
Okay. Did anyone not recite yet? I think everyone has recited. Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, text 54. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya aham 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 evam vidhorjuna gyatum jnatum drashtum cha tatvena jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be known, can I be understood as I am. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. Can I be understood as I am? Standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Okay. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya aham evam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Alright, so now let's read Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 11. We were reading about Lord Ramchandra's rule, and we read how Lord Ramchandra performed many yagyas, and after performing the yagyas, he would give away all his kingdom to the brahmanas, to the priests who performed the yajna, and the brahmanas, accepting the affection of Lord Ramchandra, they would accept the gift but then return it back to Lord Ramchandra. And then there we saw this is the nature of a brahmana. A brahmana does not keep anything for himself. He lives a very simple life, just what he needs to keep the body and soul together. He only accepts that much, and the rest he distributes. So, what is the need for a brahmana for big kingdoms? So, the brahmanas, they accepted, but of course, they didn't reject Lord Ramchandra's gift. When Lord Ramchandra gave a donation, they accepted it and then they gave it back. And then they started offering prayers to Lord Ramchandra. By returning this, they said, giving the kingdom back, the brahmanas said to Lord Ramchandra, they started offering prayers. And they said, my Lord, you have given us the greatest gift. By entering into the cores of our hearts, you have destroyed the darkness of ignorance. This is the highest gift that anyone can receive. What is this material kingdom, right? In comparison to that, what need do we have for this kingdom, for this land, for this material gift which you're offering? We got the highest gift from you. And also, everything that we have is coming from you, right? Whatever there is in the whole creation, everything is coming from you. So you've given us everything. And the best of all, you have removed the darkness of ignorance from our hearts. So then, compared to all this, what is this material gift? Aditi Lata Mataji, you're raising your hand.
Sorry, Mataji, I missed my chance. I was thinking if I can, if it is possible, otherwise it's fine.
Okay. I'll have to open another page. 1 second.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay, go ahead, Mataji.
Bhaktya tva ananya shakya aham evam vidojana kyatum drashtum cha tatvena praveshtum cha parantapa. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so now let's read the prayers offered by the Brahmanas. The next verse. Did Madhava and Rasapriya read yesterday? I think Krishna, Shish and Isha read.
Never read. I don't know about Rasapriya.
Madhava read, huh? Rasapriya, did you also read yesterday? Do you remember? Maybe. Because generally, anyway, she doesn't remember either. Okay. Let me just.
I think Madhava read a purport and Rasapriya read translation. So that way, I think.
We have to do the purport then?
I think so.
Okay. So text 5 said, all the Brahmanas who were engaged in the various activities of the sacrifice were very pleased with Lord Ramchandra, who was greatly affectionate and favorable to the Brahmanas. Thus, with melted hearts, they returned all the property received from him and spoke as follows. O Lord, you are the master of the entire universe. What have you not given to us? You have entered the core of our hearts and dissipated the darkness of our ignorance by your effulgence. This is the supreme gift. We do not need a material donation. And then we read about Dhruva Maharaj also. Yes, we read this. So in this context, Srila Prabhupada quoted Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, and Vamandev. How Dhruva Maharaj was offered by Lord Vishnu a kingdom, and Dhruva Maharaj didn't want anything. Prahlad Maharaj also was offered by Lord Nrsimhadev, ask for something. Prahlad Maharaj said, I'm not a merchant. I'm just satisfied being your servant. Vamandev, when Bali Maharaj said, take, what will the 3 steps of land do? Take a whole planet. And Vamandev said, no, a Brahmana must be satisfied, right? Like this. So this is the nature of a Brahmana, and a devotee is automatically a Brahmana. A Vaishnava is superior to a Brahmana. So all of them, all these devotees, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, they're Vaishnavas. And of course, Vamandev is the Supreme Lord in the role of a Brahmana. So, yes, Brahmanas are not after material gifts. That's the nature of a Brahmana. So now let's continue. Okay, so we'll read the translation. Rasapriya, text 7. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Ramayankuntha Medhase उत्तमश्लोकधुर्याय न्यस्तदण्डार्पिताङ्घ्रये. Yes, Rasapriya.
O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who have accepted the Brahmanas as your worshipable deity. Your knowledge and memory are never disturbed by anxiety. You are the chief of all famous persons within this world, and your lotus feet are worshipped by sages, who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. O Lord Ramchandra, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto you.
Yes. O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead who have accepted the Brahmanas as your worshipable deity. Your knowledge and memory are never disturbed by anxiety. You are the chief of all famous persons within this world, and your lotus feet are worshipped by sages who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. O Lord Ramchandra, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto you. So the Brahmanas are glorifying Lord Ramchandra. After returning the kingdom back to Lord Ramchandra, just note the mood of the Brahmanas. Lord Ramchandra is playing the role of a Kshatriya, and they are Brahmanas. So Kshatriyas are always subordinate to the Brahmanas. Still, what is the mood of the Brahmanas here? They are actually very humble, because here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead playing the role of an ideal Kshatriya, ideal king. So you are actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what is the nature of the Supreme Lord? Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. The Brahmanas and cows are very dear to the Supreme Lord. So so you are that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is very affectionate to the Brahmanas. This is a glorification of the Lord. When anyone calls the Lord by his addresses the Lord by his qualities, especially by his addresses the Lord according to his relationship to his devotees, that's very dear. That address is very dear to the Lord. In other words, when you call the Lord Bhakta Vatsala means one who is very affectionate to his devotees. This quality of the Lord, he has many qualities, right? He is the killer of Kamsa, and he's the Dina Bandhu, he's the friend of the poor, like that. So many names the Supreme Lord has based on his qualities. But the queen or the king of all qualities is Bhakta Vatsalata. So Krishna is known as Brahmanya Devaya and Go Brahmana Hitaya. He is the worshipable Lord of the Brahmanas, and he is also the well-wisher, the friend, the well-wisher of the Brahmanas. So you are that Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Brahmanas are saying. O Lord Ramchandra, you are that Supreme Personality of Godhead who have accepted the Brahmanas as your worshipable deity. Your knowledge and memory are never disturbed by anxiety. See, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. This is a statement from the Upanishad. The Lord is also a person like us, yet he is different. He is eternal, we are also eternal. So, how are we different from him? And how are we equal to him? So, this verse explains Nityo Nityanam. We are all eternal. He is also eternal. Chetanas Chetananam. We are all conscious beings. He is also a conscious being. So in this way, we are the same. He is also conscious, we are also conscious. He is also eternal, we are also eternal. He has no birth, we have no birth, right? So we are the same. Yet, there is a difference. What is the difference? Of all the eternals, he is the chief eternal. Of all the conscious beings, he is the chief conscious being. Eko bahunam yo vidadhati kaman. We are all maintained and he is the maintainer. That is the difference. He is the one who is maintaining everyone. We are maintained by him. He is the enjoyer. We are enjoyed. That way we are different from him. How are we different from him? We are the energy. He is the energetic. We are enjoyed. He is the enjoyer. We are maintained. He is the maintainer. This is the difference. And how are we one? He is also eternal. We are also eternal. He is also conscious. We are also conscious. Right? We are not dull, dead matter. We are conscious beings. And he is also conscious. That's how we are one in that sense. But at the same time, we are different. He is the master, we are the servants. He is the enjoyer, we are enjoyed. Like that. So, they are saying, the Brahmanas are saying, when we are in anxiety, what happens? Our mind doesn't work, isn't it? When you are in anxiety, you become bewildered, you lose your memory, you cannot think. You cannot think when you're in anxiety. Your brain doesn't function properly. Whereas the Supreme Lord is not disturbed by anxiety. He's not disturbed by anxiety. His knowledge and memory are never disturbed by anxiety. This is also a difference between him and us. We become anxious, we become worried. He's never disturbed by anxiety. Another difference between us and him. You are the chief of all famous persons within this world, and your lotus feet are worshipped by sages who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. So, those who are already liberated, sages who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment, who get punished? Somebody who commits sinful activities gets punished. Who are judged by Yamaraj? Those who do karma on this earthly planet, Martya Loka, right? This planet is called Martya Loka. Here we do karma, we perform karma and we get the result of that. So if we do pious activities, then we go to higher planets. If we do sinful activities, then we are judged, right? We are given punishment by Yamaraj. But those who are beyond Swarga, those who are great sages in Tapoloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, are they also punished by Yamaraj? No, they are not punished by Yamaraj. So, O Lord Ramchandra, you are worshipped by those sages who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. That means you are worshipped by the exalted personalities. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Next. So after Rasapriya, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. कदाचिल्लोक जिज्ञासुर गूढ़ो रात्र्याम अलक्षितः चरन् वाचो शृणोद्रामो भार्याम उद्दिश्य कस्यचित्.
Shukdev Goswami continued. Once, while Lord Ramchandra was walking at night, incognito, hiding himself by a disguise to find out the people's opinion of himself, he heard a man speaking unfavorably about his wife, Sita Devi.
So in this way, Lord Ramchandra is ruling the kingdom. Kingdom means he is the emperor. He is ruling the whole planet. His capital city is Ayodhya. And Lord Ramchandra is performing many yajnas, sacrifices. So the Lord also wanted to know what the people are thinking about him. Are they satisfied? Or do they have any problems? Of course, the king has his spies who go and get him information, but sometimes the king himself goes to get first hand information. So Lord Ramchandra went in disguise to hear what the people are talking about him. And what did he find out? Once when Lord Ramchandra was walking at night incognito, hiding himself by a disguise to find out the people's opinion of himself, he heard a man speaking unfavorably about his wife Sita Devi. Yes. So husband and wife were talking. Lord Ramchandra uh, came across a man talking to his wife, and then he was saying something unfavorable about Sita Devi. What was that? Let us find out. Naham bibharmi tvam dushtam asatim paraveshmagam straino hi bibhryat sitam ramo naham bhaje punaha. Roya Mataji.
Speaking to his unchaste wife, the man said, "You go to another man's house, and therefore you are unchaste and polluted. I shall not maintain you any more. A henpecked husband like Lord Rama may accept a wife like Sita, who went to another man's house. But I am not henpecked like him, and therefore I shall not accept you again."
Yeah. So this he was a washerman, and his wife apparently had an affair with another man. And when the husband discovered this, he rejected his wife. He said, "You cannot come home, and I'm not going to maintain you anymore because you are unchaste. You're polluted because you go to another man. You spent the night at another man's house. I cannot accept you." And he didn't stop at that. He said, "I'm not a henpecked husband like Lord Rama, who accepted his wife even though she was in another man's house for 1 year. I'm not a henpecked husband. Lord Rama is a henpecked husband. Even though his wife was in another man's house, still he accepted her because he's henpecked. I'm not like that. So I reject you." And Lord Ramchandra, who was in disguise, heard this, heard what the citizens were talking about him and Sita Devi. Yeah. Next. So Sonia Mataji and Nilambari Mataji joined. So Sonia Mataji, you can read the next one. Iti lokad bahumukhad duraradhyad asamvidaha patyabhitena satyakta prapta pracheta sashramam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Sukdev Goswami said, men with poor fund of knowledge and a heinous character speak nonsensically. Fearing such rascals, Lord Ramchandra abandoned his wife Sita Devi, although she was pregnant. Thus, Sita Devi went to the ashrama of Valmiki Muni. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So Sukadev Goswami is telling us, this conversation is between Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj is asking questions and Sukadev Goswami is answering. So Sukadev Goswami is saying, men with a poor fund of knowledge and a heinous character speak nonsensically. That means whatever this washerman spoke about Lord Ramchandra and about Sita Devi has no sense. It's nonsensical. So, men with a poor fund of knowledge, they don't know things, they don't have proper knowledge, and their character is very base, right? With a heinous character, very low minded person will speak nonsense. So, whatever this washerman said about Lord Ramchandra being henpecked and about Sita Devi being polluted, it's nonsense. But Lord Ramchandra, fearing such rascals, Lord Ramchandra abandoned his wife Sita Devi. Fearing such rascals, Lord Ramchandra abandoned his wife Sita Devi, although she was pregnant. Thus Sita Devi went to the ashram of Valmiki Muni. Okay, I think I know what Aditi Lata Mataji is going to ask, but go ahead, Mataji. Ask your question.
I knew you will know that I will have questions here. This is my eternal question. I have asked you previously also. But seriously, why? Because these fools will be there in every yuga all the time. Like in Krishna's case, also people say that he is human, normal human, he died, all those nonsense. So why will Lord Ramachandra do what was right as change his righteousness? I mean, like Sita Devi has gone through fire sacrifice, for fire, test, all those things. Why did he change? Why for that fool? Instead, he should have punished him, or he should have said that, okay, let your wife go through this, if you want to test that she's chaste or not, because that's what we are supposed to do. Even for guru and all, we are supposed to test that, false gurus and all, that you show your form, like not guru, the person who say that I am God. So we are supposed to test by saying that, okay, you show your Vishwarup. So why did Lord Rama took this step? Because this is what he has taken the step. I find it very discouraging and, I mean, difficult to accept.
Of course, yes, it is very difficult to accept because what was Sita Devi's fault, isn't it? I mean, she was always completely faithful, and in spite of being completely uh, chaste and surrendered to Lord Ramchandra, she's tested again and again, and now she's even abandoned. So, yes, it is very painful, and uh, we get questions why. From Lord Ramchandra's perspective, Lord Ramchandra is setting an example. He is Maryada Purushottam. He is setting the right example. If Lord Ramchandra didn't care for what this washerman said, like cancer, right? If you ignore when there is cancerous cell, if you ignore it thinking that, oh, it's just one small cell, what will happen? Soon it will spread throughout the whole body and it can even kill the person. So if you ignore one person's comment, it will spread. And then soon, behind Lord Ramchandra's back, everyone will be talking, doubting the character of Sita Devi. Just the fact that even such a thought can come to some person in his kingdom was a threat, to the authority of Lord Ramchandra. He's setting the right example there. Lord Ramchandra had no doubt whatsoever about Sita Devi's character. Even when he sent her, for that Agni Pariksha, he sanctioned it. But Sita Devi herself said that she wanted, to enter into fire and prove her chastity. And Lord Ramchandra did not say anything. He, gave his permission, consent. And we understood why, because actually original Sita Devi was kept with Agni. So through that Agni Pariksha, original Sita Devi came back to Lord Ramchandra. But that happened in Lanka. Sita Devi's Agni Pariksha happened in Lanka. The residents of Ayodhya didn't see that. And Sita Devi is Lord Ramchandra's consort. If it is a fact that Lord Ramchandra is a henpecked husband, then he might as well make up a story, oh, that there was a Agni Pariksha and Sita Devi passed the test, she's chaste and he's just coming and making. What will happen if Lord Ramchandra allowed it? Tomorrow, a man's unchaste wife will give the example of Lord Ramchandra and she will say, you have to accept me. She's actually a culprit, but she will say, no, you should accept me. Because Lord Ramchandra accepted, you have to accept. What will happen in the society? Corruption. Taking the example of Lord Ramchandra, people will be doing all types of nonsense. And who will be responsible for this? Yad yad acharati shreshtas, tad tad evetaro jana. Sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. So therefore, the responsibility of a leader is very, very, there is a grave, the leader has a very grave responsibility. It is said that Lord Ramchandra broke his own heart when he sent Sita Devi to the forest, to the ashram of Valmiki Muni. She was pregnant. Still, for the sake of Dharma, to set the right example, he did that. And he never married. He ruled for 11,000 years after that. He never married. He was completely, uh, faithful consort. But for the sake of Dharma, he had to do that, to set the right example for all the citizens and for all the future generations. That's why.
Sita Devi, he could have told Sita Devi to do Agni Pariksha for the other people, and then why will he be I understand what you are saying, Mataji, but those people will anyway say something or the other, right? Even for Love Kush, they will say, okay, Love Kush is not his kids, because he was staying in Lanka, because she was kidnapped in Lanka. So
no, once he abandoned means abandoned. They can say whatever they want to say. That means Lord Ramchandra abandoned Sita Devi because she was, according to what this person said, okay, so I'm not supposed to. So he just sent her, abandoned her. So Lord Ramchandra is clear now, whatever they want to say, but he didn't accept her back. He didn't accept Love Kush back immediately. How did Lava Kush come back to him? Sita Devi proved her chastity once again. Lord Ramchandra didn't ask her to, go through another test. But she wanted to remove that blame, that black mark from the character of Lord Ramchandra, that his consort, his wife was, in another man's house. Maybe she's polluted. She wanted to prove her chastity to the people of Ayodhya. So then, once again, so she did that in Sri Lanka in front of all the Vanaras, right? Ayodhya Vasis were not there. And now again in Ayodhya, she does it in front of everyone, that if even for a single moment, if even in my dreams I didn't think of any man other than my husband, then let this earth open up and take me inside. And the earth did split up. And then her mother, right? She went back into the earth from where she had come. So that proved her chastity, that she was, she's completely pure. Now it is proved to everyone. Then Lava and Kusha were accepted by Lord Ramchandra. But she proved it to the people.
But people are
Until
bad, right, Mataji? People are
after that, nobody ever says anything about Sita Devi. Did you ever hear after that?
no, but the problem is now people started taking it casually, right? So even if this is for, like, they will just take the example of Rama instead of Sita. Now they will take the example of Rama and they will say, oh, okay, even if a wife is, spends the night outside because of some reason or something, then they will have an option of saying, oh, you were not here, so you are unchaste and you go out, and then he will get married, because they will just, they just don't want to get rid of the wife. They will, start taking the advantage of that type of scenario.
Did you ever come across such a situation where people quoted Lord Ramchandra and therefore they gave up their wives?
Vote Ramchandra, but they follow that way. I'm saying people who are actually, like, for women who are, raped or kidnapped. There are many places where they are discarded in spite of not their, intention. You know what I mean? I mean, they violated forcefully. It's not that they are doing it willingly. So but they are, like, thrown away. There are stories. Remember last time you also told about the story of a woman who later on, adopted so many kids, and, remember in Maharashtra.
Uh-huh. No, yeah. No, she didn't have anything, but she was blamed. It's not that she was not, raped or anything. No.
Okay. So
Sindhu Tai.
yes, yes. So there are people who are like that, even if they had some problem, or even if they don't have. So people actually take the other side, like Rama's side, not mentioning Rama, but they will follow that path, saying, "Oh, you are unchaste," or "Get out." So doesn't that
So,
also become a?
so what should Lord Ramchandra have? What should he have done
You should
according to
have
you?
punished that person because of saying that
He
insane
can
thing.
punish. Mataji, try to get the point. He can punish that person, and he will shut that person's mouth. But someone else will talk now. Oh, he punished him because he wanted to cover his wife. You understand? Lord Ramchandra wanted to uproot any scope of any doubt from the minds of the people. He can punish one person, but what about that seed is already planted? That seed of doubt is already planted in the people's minds. That is not removed. By his punishing one person, that's not going to be cleared. Someone else, 10 people, and then soon hundreds, thousands of people will be talking about it. So the only solution is to remove that doubt from the people's heart. So how to do that? So
Another
he just
another Agni Pariksha would have cleared, right? The doubt in front of everyone. That way, Sita Devi is not wrong. She should not be punished.
No,
for
but if he's asking Sita Devi to go through Agni Pariksha, it's the same thing. Whether he sent her to Valmiki Muni's ashram or he asked her, that means he doubted her. He's saying, okay, go through the test.
Not for him. He should explain that because to remove those people's doubt. That way, Mother Sita would have cleared that
And
doubt.
what about Sita Devi? She's a what, a toy or something? Okay, put her in the fire again and again.
But she would not have suffered for so many years, no? Separation from Ramachandra with the babies and all.
So you want to rewrite Ramayana now? So yeah, this is what it is. This is what has happened. So let us accept it, and the reason the explanation is given. This is the explanation. Priyanka Mataji is saying Arjun calls Krishna Janardhan as he puts his associates through difficulty. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Krishna puts his devotees through difficulty. So Lord Ramchandra is putting Sita Devi through difficulty. Yeah. But I mean, even if Lord Ramchandra made Sita Devi go through another fire test, still there would be complaints and questions. You cannot avoid that. Then they will say, why? Already she went through one test, why again? Same questions will come up that way also. So whatever has happened, that's for the best, right? And now today everyone is worshipping Sita Devi, right? For her sacrifice, for her selfless love for Lord Ramchandra. So yeah, let's just accept it the way it is.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so let's continue. Men with a poor fund of knowledge and a heinous character speak nonsensically. So, of course, there is no sense in what this in what this washerman said. There's no sense in that. Still, fearing such rascals, this is one, there will be many others, right? Fearing such rascals, Lord Ramchandra abandoned his wife Sita Devi, although she was pregnant. Thus, Sita Devi went to the ashram of Valmiki Muni. So, Lord Ramchandra sent Sita Devi along with Lakshman to the forest, to Valmiki Muni's ashram. अन्तर्वत्न्यागते काले यमौ सा सुषुवे सुतौ कुशोलव इति ख्यातौ तयोश्चक्रे क्रियामुनिः नीलाम्बरी राधा माता जी.
Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम माता जी. जय श्री प्रभुपाद.
When the time came, the pregnant mother Sita Devi gave birth to two twin sons, later celebrated as Love Kush. The ritualistic ceremonies for their birth were performed by Valmiki Muni. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Krishna माता जी. So Sita Devi was in Valmiki Muni's ashram. She was pregnant when Lord Ramchandra sent her away. She was already pregnant. So then she delivered the babies in Valmiki Muni's ashram. She had twin boys, Lava and Kusha. All four brothers, Lord Ramchandra, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrughna, everyone had twins, two boys, all four of them. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Valmiki Muni performed all the rituals after the birth, the ceremony, birth ceremony. It was all done by Valmiki Muni, like a father does for his daughter. Next. Angadashchitraketuscha लक्ष्मणस्यात्मजौ स्मृतौ तक्षः पुष्कल इत्यास्तां भरतस्या महीपते. So I think next is Vindhyavali Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. When you call me, it's like midnight, so therefore I'm not able to answer. Please
I thought
forgive.
I corrected it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mataji. No
I'm
problem. Go ahead.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Oh, Maharaj Parikshit, Lord Lakshman had two sons named Angada and Chitraketu. And Lord Bharata also had two sons named Taksha and Pushkala.
So Lord Ramchandra's two sons are Lava and Kusha. Lakshmana's two sons are Angada and Chitraketu. Bharata's sons are Taksha and Pushkala. And we will see Shatrughna also has. Next. Subahuः श्रुतसेनश्च शत्रुघ्नस्य बभूवतुः गन्धर्वान् कोटिशो जघ्ने भरतो विजये दिशाम् तदीयं धनमानीय सर्वं राज्ञे न्यवेदयत् शत्रुघ्नश्च मधोः पुत्रं लवणं नाम राक्षसम् हत्वा मधुवने चक्रे मथुरां नाम वैपुरीम्. Yeah, Arunita, Achintadev Prabhu, Aditilata Mataji, one of you can read.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Shatrughna had two sons named Subhahu and Srutasena. When Lord Bharata went to conquer all directions, he had to kill many millions of Gandharvas, who are generally pretenders. Taking all their wealth, he offered it to Lord Ramchandra. Shatrughna also killed a Rakshasa named Lavana, who was the son of Madhu Rakshasa. Thus he is established in the great forest known as Madhuvan in the town known as Mathura.
So this is in Treta Yuga, right? Lord Ramchandra appeared in Treta Yuga. So after Lord Ramchandra became the king, his brothers Bharata, Shatrughna, they went out to fight the enemies. So Bharata went and fought with the Gandharvas who were pretenders, and whatever wealth he won in that battle, he offered it all to Lord Ramchandra. Shatrughna also fought with one Rakshasa called Lavanasura. Lavana is the son of another demon called Madhu. And the kingdom of this Lavanasura is, or he established, so in that forest, Lavanasura lived in the forest called Madhuvana. Lavanasura is the son of Madhu, and in that forest called Madhuvana, that Rakshasa's forest, I believe, Madhuvana, Lavanasura was killed by Shatrughna, and Shatrughna established a town in Madhuvan. He established a town called Mathura. Mathura. Same place. But this was in Treta Yuga. Munau nikshipya tanayau Sita bhartra vivasita dhyayanti ramacharnau vivaram praviveshaha. Yeah. Aditi Lata Mataji or Achintadev Prabhu. You can read both translation and purport.
Being forsaken by her husband, Sita Devi entrusted her two sons to the care of Valmiki Muni. Then, meditating upon the lotus feet of Lord Ramachandra, she entered into the earth. Purport. It is impossible for Sita Devi to live in separation from Lord Ramachandra. Therefore, after entrusting her two sons To the care of Valmiki Muni, she entered into the earth.
Hare Krishna. So Sita Devi's whole life is a very sad story, right? Especially after she got married, one after another, she had to bear so many pains, so many difficulties, blames. Finally, being unable to bear separation from Lord Ramchandra, after giving birth to Lava and Kusha, and they're also raised. Then she entered into the earth, being unable to bear separation from Lord Ramchandra. Next. Vindhyavali Mataji. You're in mute, Mataji. Yeah.
No, these things, the Sri Ramchandra's, whatever happened, it's all in Treta Yuga. Compared to Treta Yuga to Kali Yuga, it's far, 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 far different, degraded.
Yes.
So, we cannot talk anything about Ramchandra or Sita. No, we're nowhere near them.
Yeah.
And anything, happened in Ramchandra's life, and he wanted to prove, because he's a Kshatriya, he's the king, he has to rule this thing, kingdom. So he has to be nice and he has to prove everything. Whatever, if an ant does something also, he has to prove. Because that is the king's duty. Of course, that is too hard to think and too hard as a lady to feel that, of course. But this is degraded, this Kali Yuga. If it does like that, it will come down like that. And then, I used to have an example, even till today, 50 years, my son, he says, oh, no, that day, you shouted at me when I was little, because everybody said something and you were shouting at me. Why are you doing that? I didn't do anything wrong that day. Till today, he says that. Because we went to somebody's house for some marriage, they gave some buttermilk. It's watery. And he was saying that, what is this? This is water. This is not buttermilk. He was hardly 4 years or 5 years. 4 or 5 years, boy. Then when everybody was there, I have to yell at my son. I know that is he's a little boy. He's saying, he's comparing what buttermilk to water. It is watery because a lot of people are there. They're serving. There is a wedding place. They're serving in somebody's house. So I had to correct my son in front of everybody as a mother. And I told him, no, don't talk nonsense. Don't do that. That is buttermilk. I know that. Till today, he says, that day you compared, I said it is watery and it looks like water, but it was like watery, but you yelled at me. That is correct, I know that. If I don't yell at him, people will yell at me. And they will say, what kind of mother, that little guy is talking like that, and she is not correcting. That is life, actually, we have to do certain things. And Rama, he knows everything. That is Maya, Sita, everything, and he knows everything, but he did correct.
Yeah.
So all these things, sometimes I always say, we cannot compare to Rama and Krishna. No. So because these are the things in Kali Yuga we cannot compare, and we're not that pure either.
Exactly.
Kali Yuga purity is not going down and down. So if husband says something, how many people will keep quiet? We will argue with husband. Did Sita did that? She never said anything. That is the Treta Yuga and this is Kali Yuga. Then I just felt like that. I don't want to prolong this, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, for your input. Thank you. Yeah, so we'll continue. We're reading about, so Lord Ramchandra. So Sita Devi, she entered into the earth, and Lakshman had two sons, Bharat two sons, Shatrughna two sons. Bharat conquered the Gandharvas and got all the wealth and gave it to Lord Ramchandra. Shatrughna defeated Lavanasura, and in that forest Madhuvan he established the city called Mathura. Next. Tachrutva Bhagavan Ramo Rundhannapi Dhiya Shuchaha Smaram Stasya Gunam Stam Stan Nashaknod Rodhumishwaraha. Yes. So,
Mataji, I'll be reading.
yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
After hearing the news of Mother Sita's entering the earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was certainly aggrieved. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, upon remembering the exalted qualities of Mother Sita, he could not check his grief in transcendental love. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, you see, Lord Ramchandra is the Supreme Lord. It's not just that, he's from Treta Yuga and therefore they are pure in Treta Yuga, we are in Kali Yuga. That point is there. But over and above that, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He cannot be touched by any material qualities. The Supreme Lord is untouched by the material nature. He doesn't touch the material nature. That means his grief, his pain, his punishment that he's giving, everything is transcendental. Nothing is touched by material qualities. So now, when Lord Ramchandra heard about Sita Devi's entering into the earth, he found out, he was very much aggrieved. He was grief stricken. Again, this grief of the Lord is also not like a husband's grief for his wife. It may look like that externally, but this is the Supreme Lord's Vipralamba Bhav, separation from his internal energy. Like the gopis feeling separation from Krishna, or Krishna feeling separation from the gopis and the Brajbasis when he was in Mathura. That is not on a material platform. It is on the transcendental platform. So Lord Ramchandra's grief, remembering the wonderful qualities of Sita Devi, his love for her and her love for him, he was grief stricken to know that Sita Devi has entered into the earth. Of course, she is his internal energy, right? Internal energy means she is part of him. She is not outside of him, she is within him. But still, this is a pastime, right? This is achintya. Achintya, Priyanka Mataji. Achintya means that which cannot be conceived. The Lord's qualities, the Lord's position is achintya. We will not be able to capture that with this mind, right? By chintan, by our intelligence, intellect, we will not be able to capture by logic, because he is achintya. So all we have to do is we have to accept that he is achintya, right? So on one hand, he is mourning, he is feeling sorry for his wife, but actually this is the highest ecstasy. I mean, she is his internal energy, she is part of him. So where is the question of separation? She's always in him, isn't it? But still he's feeling separation from her, right? This is achintya. So, yeah, in the past time, so now Sita Devi has entered the earth and Lord Ramchandra is feeling separation, thinking of her wonderful qualities. So again, like Aditi Lata Mataji was quoting, when Lord Krishna apparently, right, to the external vision, it appeared that a hunter shot him, and Lord Krishna, uh, you know, was killed. It sounds funny, but that's how it appears to those who are, those who don't accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord lets them stay in that illusion, right? He will not reveal the truth to them. Naham prakashah sarvasya yogamaya samavritah, right? Mudhoyam nabhijanati. Those who are mudhas, they won't know him. They won't know him because the Lord covers himself by his yogamaya to them, so they cannot understand him. So to them, it seems like, oh, he's also an ordinary person. He got killed by a hunter. And the Lord creates such a scene. So those who are materialistic, right? People sometimes from other faiths, they want to prove that Lord Ramchandra is not the supreme Lord. He's mourning for his wife. What kind of God is he? Like that, people, challenge the position of Lord Ramchandra. So Lord Ramchandra also, plays along with that. To them, he will remain an ordinary husband to them. Feeling separation from his wife, he's mourning, he's feeling sorry. Then how we will know what is the truth? The only way we can know the truth is when the Supreme Lord reveals it to us. That's the only way. So then the question is, how will the Lord reveal it to us? When will he reveal it to us? Mahajano yena gatasya pantha. We have to follow in the footsteps of the Mahajans. What do the Mahajans do? So this is a statement from Mahabharat that how can you know what is, what is the truth? What is the essence? You cannot know by studying Shastra because there are different types of Shastra. Shrutayo vibhinna, right? Many types Shastras, and then again there is, something is said in one scripture, something else is said in another scripture, and you don't know, is this right or is that right? You cannot come to a conclusion. And then somehow or other you come to the conclusion, okay, I'll accept this scripture. Then there are many philosophies, right? On that also, different philosophers have different opinions, whom to follow. Tarko apratishtat shrutayo vibhinnat. By logic, by tarka, you cannot come to the conclusion. Simply by studying the scriptures on your own, you won't be able to come to a conclusion. Then how can we understand the essence? Mahajano yena gatasya pantha. You have to follow in the footsteps of Mahajans. So what do the Mahajans say? Only by rendering devotional service to the Supreme Lord, when the Lord reveals himself, then we can understand. And to whatever extent he reveals to us, to that extent we understand, and then we continue to render devotional service. The only thing that attracts the Lord's attention is pure unalloyed devotional service. What is pure unalloyed devotional service? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. To make it simple, chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Yesterday, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj gave class, Bhagavatam class at the temple. And this was on the third canto. Text, I think it's 3.132. Vidura's travels, and Vidura meets with Uddhava. So in that context, Maharaj was saying, he started off the class by asking, how many of you would like to meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Everyone raised their hands. So then he said, so would you like to know how to get the association of the Supreme Lord? How you can be with the Supreme Lord? And then the whole class was just about that. How you can meet the Supreme Lord. So the way you can associate with the Supreme Lord is by constantly thinking of Him. Constantly thinking of Him. And then he gave the example of Akrura. Akrura, because Vidura was inquiring from Uddhava about the different members of the Yadu dynasty. Vidura already heard that at Prabhasa everyone, killed each other. Still, his heart didn't want to accept that. He was in a shock. So he was asking, taking names one by one. How is Vasudev doing? How is Akrura doing? Like that, one by one he's asking. So about Akrura, Maharaj was saying, he was such a devotee. Not for a moment was he not thinking of Krishna. He was constantly thinking of Krishna. So when you think about Krishna, then you are with Krishna all the time. You are associating with the Supreme Lord all the time. So then coming to our present condition, how can we constantly think of Krishna? That's our question, isn't it? How can we constantly think of Krishna? So Maharaj gave such a practical, solution. He said, whenever you're chanting on your beads, it's interesting, Maharaj said, when you chant on your beads, whenever you're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra on your beads, and whenever you're attending temple programs, you are directly associating with Krishna. You are with Krishna, associating with Krishna. So now we have the solution. When you associate with Krishna, when you are with Krishna, that is devotional service through devotional service, right? You're associating with the Lord. This is devotional service. And when you render devotional service, when the Lord is pleased, He gets attracted to you. He reveals the truth about Himself. What is the verse that we memorized today? 1154. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, directly are present before you, right? Only by undivided devotional service. So that should be our aspiration. And when we do that, the Lord reveals truths to us, whatever we need to know. It will be revealed to us. Of course, we will certainly, make an endeavor to understand as far as possible. That's not at all, what do you say? Discouraged, certainly not. We must try to understand, but at the same time we should know we cannot understand everything by our intelligence, right? It's not possible. The Lord is unlimited. How can we understand? As far as possible we will try, and when we are not able to understand, we are like, wow, the Lord is so great, what can I understand about the Lord? Like that. Achintadev Prabhu.
Yeah, a question or a clarification about what Jayapataka Maharaj said about temple programs where he said you are directly associating with Krishna. In that case, many a times we have this confusion. We have a particular whether we should do it at home and we should go to the temple. So then temple always is a priority.
Yes, that is said always. If you have a choice between the two, yeah, go to the temple, because the temple atmosphere is different. But the thing is, there are certain things that have to be done steadily every day, right? So depending on the proximity that you have to the temple, if you're able to do that regular program at the temple, that's wonderful, that's the best. But you also need to have, if you are staying far away from the temple, especially when you are I'm just telling you from my experience. When I have a family, things have to run smoothly in the family, right? Smoothly in the sense you need to have some kind of a schedule, spiritual program at home. It may not be possible for everyone to go to the temple every day, especially if you're living, like you're in Philadelphia. So it wouldn't be possible for me to go to the temple every morning for the morning program to the temple if I were there with all my children. Besides, if I just went away myself, then, what about taking care of my services at home, cooking prasadam and etc., right? So taking the whole picture into consideration, but there should be some regulation about going to temple. So let's say you're able to go once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. You put that into your system, right? Your regulation, and everyone makes it, right? Everyone goes to the temple like that. That regulation, that is very helpful. But if you have an opportunity where you're able to do it regularly at the temple, that's the best. That's the best if you can do it. But sometimes it's not possible to do like that, especially with families. Or not all family members are able to go. That's another thing. And yeah, especially when it comes to, ladies, they have to stay back and do. And it's not really demanded, that they should also go. But if they are able to go, if they are able to manage, that's wonderful. That's very good. But it's not really expected that, they should also go just because, you have to take care of things at home also. So grihasthas are, especially when you live far away from the temple, I heard if you live close to the temple, then there's no excuse. You should just go to the temple. Even if you have deities at home, still make your home program simple and just go to the temple. If you're living close to the temple, yeah, just go to the temple. But if you are living further away and if you're not able to go to the temple, then we need that regulation. Grihasthas need that regulation. Therefore, every grihastha should have, deities at home, and the deity is the head of the family, right? And then that's the center service. So that way, the home becomes a temple, like that. But even then, whenever there's a festival, then it's not a competition between worship at home and worship at the temple. When you go to the temple as a family, if everybody is just going to the temple and worshipping there, then it is understood that the deity at home is getting the service, whatever is being offered in the temple. So temple is always a priority. I hope I covered the points, all points, without confusing.
No, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. So we will stop reading. Did everyone read today? Did anyone not read? Krishna, Shish, Anisha, did you read? No. Okay, so you also read and then I will end here. So Lord Ramchandra, after hearing about Sita Devi's entering the earth, Lord Ramchandra was certainly aggrieved. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, upon remembering the exalted qualities of Mother Sita, he could not check his grief in transcendental love. See, the Lord's love is not, ordinary material love, it is transcendental love. Purport. So, Isha.
Lord Ramachandra's grief at the news of Sita Devi's entering the earth is not to be considered material. In the spiritual world, also, there are feelings of separation, but such feelings are considered spiritual bliss. Grief in separation exists even in the absolute, but such feelings of separation in the spiritual world are transcendently blissful. Such feelings are a sign of Tasya Prema Vashyatva Swabhava, being under the influence of Hladini Shakti and being controlled by love. In the material world, such feelings of separation are only a perverted reflection.
Yes. And if anybody wants to understand this further, then you should study the life and activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll get a glimpse of this Vipralamba Bhava, ecstasies of love and separation. I mean, it looks like the person is in grief, right? But actually, that's the highest ecstasy. How is that so? We cannot understand that because we are on the material plane. Our consciousness is still on the material plane. But that's the highest form of ecstasy, love in separation, which is experienced by the gopis. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also experiences the same thing in separation from Krishna. So here we see Lord Ramchandra is also experiencing that Vipralamba, right? Love in separation. Such feelings are a sign of being under the influence of Hladini Shakti. Hladini Shakti is the pleasure-giving potency. Yeah. So that grief is actually coming from the pleasure-giving potency. So it is the highest ecstasy. And whatever love and whatever feelings of separation that we see in this world, they are not coming from Hladini Shakti. They are just a perverted reflection. The difference is like love and lust. What we see in this world is lust. It's not love. Text 17. Stri pum prasanga etadrik sarvatra trasamavaha apishwaranam kim uta gramyasya griha chetasaha. Krishna Shish.
The attraction between man and woman, or male and female, always exists everywhere, making everyone always fearful. Such feelings are present even among the controllers like Brahma and Lord Shiva, and is the cause of fear for them. What to speak of others who are attached to household life in this material world?
Yes. So one may not consider now that Lord Ramchandra is feeling separation from Sita Devi. This is the attraction between male and female. Yes, there is attraction between male and female even in the spiritual world, but there is only one male, that is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And his feelings of separation, that is, as we discussed already, it is the highest ecstasy. But what is the condition in this material world? The whole material world is created on the basis of sex attraction. That means the attraction between male and female. In any species, right? That is the hard knot which is binding us to this material existence, the attraction between male and female. At any point, should we not, never should we consider that now I have transcended that. We are very vulnerable always, right? We should be on the guard. How can we be on the guard? Srila Prabhupada, today morning I was listening. Srila Prabhupada says, we are not afraid of Maya. Why? Because we take shelter of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada again gives a practical solution. He says, just chant Hare Krishna loudly. Whenever you feel that Maya is attacking you, right? Just chant Hare Krishna loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We are protected. We are protected. So, yeah, but otherwise Maya is there everywhere. This attraction between male and female is there. And what to speak of us? Even the most exalted personalities in this universe, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they are gunavatars. Even they fall victims to this attraction to a female. They are male, so they are attracted to female. Lord Brahma was attracted to his own daughter. Lord Shiva was You know, he even had a discharge, seminal discharge, when he saw Mohini Murti. So, so the message to be learned here is now don't question me. Oh, but Lord Brahma is a devotee. How can a devotee be attracted? Because one devotee had asked Srila Prabhupada the same question. Lord Brahma is Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur conquered Maya Devi. How is it that Brahmaji became a victim of Maya Devi? He is the same personality. So Srila Prabhupada answered that, yeah, Haridas Thakur is also Lord Brahma, but actually speaking, Haridas Thakur was more exalted than Brahmaji. Srila Prabhupada said. Haridas Thakur is more exalted than Lord Brahma. But that's not how we should look at this, right? Always remember, you should try to catch the message that is being given there. I mean, you can ask questions from different angles, but you should not miss the point that is being given to us, the message that is being given to us. You should catch that message. So here the message is, even somebody is as exalted as Lord Brahma or Lord Shiva, even such a person is vulnerable, can become a victim of Maya, can become a victim of this attraction to the opposite sex. Then what to speak of us? We should always be on the guard. We should always take shelter of the holy name. That's the message we should take. So here also we are reading about material existence. The attraction between man and woman or male and female always exists everywhere, making everyone always fearful. Why fearful? Because when you get attracted, then there is fear of losing, right? You come together and then there's fear of losing that. This is material existence. So, Krishna Shish. Yeah. Such feelings are present even among the controllers like Brahma and Lord Shiva and is the cause of fear for them. What to speak of others who are attached to household life in this material world. So Madhava, you can read the purport and then we'll end here. Not reading? Okay, I'll just read it.
As explained above, when the feeling of love and transcendental bliss from the spiritual world are pervertedly reflected in this material world, they are certainly the cause of bondage. As long as men feel attracted to women in this material world, and women feel attracted to men, the bondage of repeated birth and death will continue. But in the spiritual world, where there is no fear of birth and death, such feelings of separation are the cause of transcendental bliss. In the absolute reality, there are varieties of feelings, but all of them are the same quality of transcendental bliss.
So what is the result of attraction between male and female in this world? And what is the result of such attraction in the spiritual world? When the feelings of love and transcendental bliss from the spiritual world are pervertedly reflected in this material world, they are certainly the cause of bondage. When a man and woman get attracted to each other in this material world, the result is bondage. The result is bondage. What is that bondage? Repeated birth and death. Whereas the spiritual world is characterized by, you know, when one surrenders to the Supreme Lord, he becomes fearless. As long as one does not surrender to the Supreme Lord, he is always gripped by fear. This is the conclusion of the scripture. One who does not surrender to the Supreme Lord is always fearful, and anyone who surrenders to the Supreme Lord is fearless. And in the spiritual world, everyone is surrendered to the Supreme Lord, so they are always fearless. There is no fear in the spiritual world. So, in the spiritual world, where there is no fear of birth and death, such feelings of separation are the cause of transcendental bliss. They don't cause bondage. Feelings of separation don't cause bondage on the spiritual platform. Rather, they produce bliss. In the absolute reality, there are varieties of feelings, but all of them are of the same quality of transcendental bliss. Yes, that's the thing. In the spiritual world, sometimes there's also jealousy, right? There's also anger, huh? And there is uh, grief externally, but all of them are giving transcendental bliss. Anger is also giving bliss, and jealousy is also giving bliss, and grief is also giving bliss. How is that so? This is the spiritual platform. Whereas in so attraction between male and female, of course, there's only one male in the spiritual world. That's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The result of that attraction is transcendental bliss. Whereas here in this material world, attraction between man and woman, male and female, it results in bondage. It results in fear and bondage. That means repeated birth and death, like that. Of course, now don't ask me, but devotees are also attracted to their spouses and all that. Yes, it's based on our attraction should not be based on the bodily relationship. It should be based on Krishna consciousness. Yes, we are also again. It's about being on. So spiritual world means Krishna is in the center. Material world means my enjoyment is in the center. That is material platform. Spiritual platform means Krishna's enjoyment is in the center. So on that platform, yes, devotees love each other. They have affection for each other. They are attracted to each other, but not on the bodily platform. Okay? Aditi Lata Mataji.
So Mataji, separation and grief in the material world also creates attachment, right? Because then whatever they are thinking of throughout their
Only in the material world it creates attachment and bondage, not in the spiritual world.
Yeah, so I'm saying grief as well as separation, feeling of separation and grief is also because ultimately when we are, like if we are continuously feeling separation and grieving, then the consciousness becomes attached. Then we will go to the same planet where they are going. End of life. It becomes like worshipping.
At the time of death, if you're thinking of that person, yeah, the moment of death.
Yeah, because if we are always grieving, suppose someone is grieving of their parents and the separation of the parents and always thinking and crying, then the consciousness will become polluted and then they will go to Pitraloka or wherever they are.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're grieving for people in this world. But here specifically we're talking about the attraction between male and female, Mataji.
Yeah, I was
Here
thinking
in this.
because they are
Any
also
type of attachment, I mean, it's good if someone who's not a devotee and if his child or parent is a devotee and if he's attached as a child or as a parent he's attached and that person to whom you are attached to is a devotee, then it's good for you because that attachment is directed towards a devotee, then it'll bring you to Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so should we end here? It's late already. We didn't read Bhagavad Gita and Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. What do you say? Do you want me to read or end here?
Yeah, and read because today is Sunday for us.
Others, anyone has any objection, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll just read a little bit of Bhagavad Gita and Lilamrita because it's late. Okay, nobody's saying anything, so I'll just read. Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are reading introduction, continuation. How to go to that spiritual sky, to the spiritual planet by, again, if you're able to remember about the Lord at the time of death, antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. Ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshaya. There is no doubt that you will come attain my nature. And there it is said, my nature means, so if you are at the time of death thinking about, if you're following the jnana path, then you'll go to Brahman. If you're following the Ashtanga Yoga path, you'll go to Paramatma. And if you're following Bhakti path, and if you're meditating on Lord Vishnu, you'll go to Vaikuntha. If your object of worship is Krishna, then you'll go to Krishna Loka, like that. When the Lord says that at the time of death, whoever thinks of him as Brahman or Paramatma or as the personality of Godhead certainly enters into the spiritual sky, there is no doubt about it, there is no question of disbelieving it. The Bhagavad Gita 8.6 also explains the general principle that makes it possible to enter the spiritual kingdom simply by thinking of the Supreme at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitah. Exactly what Mataji said just now. Whatever you're thinking of, right? You're thinking so absorbed in the thought of someone that even at the time of death, if you're thinking, then that will be your next destination, right? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state without fail. So be careful about what you're attached to, right? If you're always absorbed in thinking about something, you better think of Krishna or someone who is dear to Krishna, right? You can think of the spiritual master, you can think of Ganga Devi, you can think of Tulsi Maharani, you can think of Bhagavatam, right? Cows, devotees, that's good. But if you're thinking about anything of this material world, if you're absorbed in that all the time, then whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state without fail. Now, first we must understand that material nature is a display of one of the energies of the Supreme Lord, right? The material nature is not all. That's just one of the energies of the Supreme Lord. In the Vishnu Purana 6.761, the total energies of the Supreme Lord are delineated. Vishnu Shakti para prokta kshetra gyakhya tatha para avidya karma sangyanya tritiya shakti rishyate. The Supreme Lord has diverse and innumerable energies which are beyond our conception. Achintya. Right? He has diverse and innumerable energies which is beyond our conception. However, great learned sages or liberated souls have studied these energies and have analyzed them into three parts. All of the energies are of Vishnu Shakti, that is to say, they are different potencies of Lord Vishnu. The first energy is para, transcendental. Living entities also belong to the superior energy, as has already been explained. Right? Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param. Jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. So the living entity is also para prakriti, right? Like superior energy. The first energy is para, transcendental. Living entities also belong to the superior energy, as has already been explained. The other energies or material energies are in the mode of ignorance. At the time of death, either we can remain in the inferior energy of this material world or we can transfer to the energy of the spiritual world. So the Bhagavad Gita 8.6 says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaiti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitah. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his present body, in his next life he will attain to that state without fail. That means if my absorption, right, is in the material energy, then I will take birth in the material world. Whereas my absorption is in the spiritual energy, then I will take birth in the spiritual world, right? Without fail. That's the result. Let's read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita. Srila Prabhupada sees snow. Right. Next, January 30. So this is like a diary, what happened. Right. So January 30. The East Coast was hit by severe blizzards. 7 inches of snow fell on the city, with winds up to 50 miles an hour. The city of New York offered warm rooms and meals for people living in tenements without heat. JFK Airport was closed, as were train lines and roadways into the city. For the second time within 8 days, a state of emergency was declared because of snow. As a lone individual, Srila Prabhupada could not do anything about the snow emergency or the international warfare. He saw these as mere symptoms of the age of Kali. Always there would be misery in the material world. But if he could bring Radha and Krishna to a building in New York, nothing was impossible for the Supreme Lord. Even in the midst of Kali Yuga, a golden age could appear and people could get relief. If Americans could take to Krishna consciousness, the whole world would follow. Seeing through the eyes of the scriptures, Srila Prabhupada pushed on through the blizzard and pursued the thin trail for support of his Krishna consciousness mission. I'll also read February 4th. He wrote again to Tirtha Maharaj, who had agreed to try for the government sanction if he first received written confirmation from a responsible donor pledging the funds for a temple. Prabhupada informed him that the donor would be Sir Padampat Singhania, and he enclosed Mr. Singhania's favorable letter of the 14th. Prabhupada reminded his god brother, Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta wanted such temples in foreign cities like New York, London, Tokyo, etc. And I had personal talks with him when I first met him at Ulta Danga in 1922. Now here is a chance for me to carry out his transcendental order. I am just seeking your favor and mercy in making this attempt successful. Right? So Srila Prabhupada asked his god brother to somehow or other get permission from the government to sanction the donation, the donors sending donation to America. So let's see what happens after that tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Roya Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.